Oh my goodness, we're live, but I can't see the chat. I can't see there. We can see the comments. Okay. It's Tuesday night. In case you didn't get enough of me, we're here in my sewing room. It's disastrously messy. And so last quarter, we have been doing live video sew-alongs on TikTok, and we decided that we wanted to come play on Facebook because most of our friendly followers are over here on Facebook. So we're here, and each week we're going to do a live sew-along and small project, and we'll have the projects for you to purchase when we get done. So tonight, I can't remember how many I have at the shop. Let me ask Donna, how many table runners do we have today? Right? Is today the 6th? Anyways, so we're working tonight on a Quilt As You Go project. And of course I left it way over here. And we're doing a table runner. See? It's kind of crazy. This is our project. It is a Quilt As You Go Venice table runner by June Taylor, sew by number. It's a pretty cool project. And hi Nancy, on TikTok a couple weeks back I did the placemat version, which we have in the shop, Quilt As You Go. This one's super cute because it has a silverware pocket. Lizzie really likes that. So I did this. We finished it. It took about an hour and a half. So we're going to try and do a project. So I did some of the prep work. I went through my scrap bin, my batik scrap bin. This is it. I have one bin of batik scraps. And I picked out some fabrics to play with tonight because I didn't want you guys to see me like totally stress over this. Hi Barb. So we're making the Venice Quilt As You Go table runner, and then afterwards Beth is going to take the video and it'll be available for a month, and then we can save it on YouTube, I think, so that you guys can visit it again if you decide that you really like this. Hi Barb. You guys hopefully are in Florida where it's nice and warm. So the Quilt As You Go table runner is a complement to the placemat. So I have already prepped my fabric, or my my batting. So the batting has pre-printed stuff on it, so it's all ready. It's kind of like paper piecing, except that when we're all done, it's all done. We don't have to rip paper out. We don't have to kind of play on it later. Hi Sandy, we're making a project together tonight. So we're doing a Quilt As You Go table runner. So we're kind of walking through how to do that, and it's going to complement this other project we have in store, the Venice Quilt As You Go placemat set. This is a June Taylor set. I'm using my scrap bin. And we're going to kind of walk through some finer points on it so that if you decide you like it, you can stop by the shop and grab one. Now, for some reason, of course, because, you know, I had plans, the last 30 minutes I spent trying to update the software for my webcam, which is a much better quality than my laptop camera. So we're going to just bear with me because, you know, technical difficulties always. So I already, when you get a Quilt As You Go, don't iron the batting. You can ask me how I know. It's not good for your iron. It will make you say naughty words, and it's not great. Hi, Joy. Hi, Yvette. So we are doing this. What I did to flatten it out, because it's obviously folded up and has creases in it, so I haven't ironed these. This is the rest of the placemats. So you can see there's like some creases in it, and this one has some darker lines on it than the one I'm working on, but it doesn't matter because it all works. I used a little bit of spray based, and then I ironed the batting through my backing. So I prepped it all this way, and I spray basted my backing to the back of the pre-printed batting panel. And what you do next, is you change your foot on your sewing machine to be the right one. I'm going to use a J foot for this one just because it doesn't really matter. And I had picked out some fabrics out of my scrap bin. I picked out some that are longer because there's a couple of little long spots here. But I want to show you a couple of the first steps so you can see how we get it going. So on this one, if you haven't paper pieced, I recommended this to a couple of customers this week, and so a couple of them were like, okay, they haven't paper pieced. This is a great way to kind of get a little bit of feel for it. It's not exactly the same concept as paper piecing, but it does open your mind to a different way of assembling your project. So I have my little Tula pink iron, my little ironing board right here, and we have a piece of thread on here. So when on the pre-printed panels, the difference between the pre-printed panel batting, the Quilt As You Go, this project, and paper piecing is you do not stitch on the line. So the lines are there for you to line up your fabric, and then you use your normal 1/4 inch seam. So the very first piece, you're going to line up on your fabric, and I'm going to stick a little pin in it. We got to be careful because it's a smallish piece. So we put a little pin in it to hold it still while I position the rest of it. And then you basically sew by number. So I'm going to find the color that I want to use for number 2. And I wanted it to be a dark and then light. So I kind of wanted to alternate like I did on this one, where I did dark and light. So we're going to start with the light and then move through it. So I've got this green. This is a fun one, and it's already cut in strips. I have no idea what I used it for before. This feels like, you know what? I'm making a change already. I like this for the border on the outside. So I'm going to throw this over here in the long strips. And I'm going to find a different. How about this one? This is fun. So we're going to do our first piece, and I'm not going to cut it. I know. A lot of people struggle with that. I'm not going to cut it. I'm just going to press the corner so that the wrinkles are out. Batiks wrinkle real well. At least for me anyways. And I'm going to take it, and I really wish my other camera were cooperating, but it's not. So we're going to just make do. And I'm going to line it up right at the same point that I lined up this first piece, and I lined the first piece up right with the marking on the batting. And I'm going to sew 1/4 inch from that this line. So we're going to sew 1/4 of an inch here. And I'll show you how that looks. Let me do a quick seam here. One of these days I'm going to have like this great big studio where I can show you all the things, and it'll look really cool because I have all the great lighting and stuff. So that'll be fun. So we're just doing projects together. So it's Tuesday. We're going to have a bunch of different projects. If you have something that you'd like to see done or you are struggling with, you can let us know and we will be able to get that on there for you. Okay, I got that on. I got my 1/4 inch mark on my foot here. I don't have a 1/4 inch foot on though, so. And you don't have to use a shorter stitch length like you do when you paper piece. You can use a regular stitch length, which is nice, especially if you mess up. You do want to pick a color on your bobbin that you don't mind seeing on the other side, because I used a light gray here, and you can definitely see my stitches on the back, which is okay. On this one I didn't mind the gray. That one worked. I have a neutral beige in here right now, so we're gonna go with that. And you could use your 1/4 inch foot if you wanted to, but sometimes the guide will mess up your stitching. So I've got my piece here. Let me take that out and let me trim this. Okay, so I have where I stitched, so I have my little first piece, and then I stitch this, and we're going to flip it. Stitch and flip. Like when we snowball stuff, right? There's something on here. I don't know if it's wax or whatever. Then I'm going to press it, being careful not to iron on the batting, because you don't want something on my fabric. You don't want to press on the batting. And then you have your first piece. Now I'm going to trim it. And I'm not a real big fabric miser. You could measure it if you wanted, but you don't have to. We're done that. So there we've got our first, let me press this because it's got a wrinkle in the extra. Okay, we got our first little seam there. And it's done. It's quilted on the back. It's quilted. Now, because this is, hi Bernie, because we are leaving this, and these stitches are done, it's good to do that last reinforcement stitch so that your stitches don't come up, because it's not the same as piecing. It's not the same. I trimmed my batting to a 1/2 inch outside of where the design was printed on this. I had the room to do it, and it ended up working out that way. So our first piece. Now, because I want to do the herringbone the same way, the next piece is also going to be the same fabric as this, so we can do that really quickly. Now it's lined up there, everything is all stitched. This is why it's important to trim that piece when you're done, is because that's where you've got to stitch, and you don't want to overstitch like you do in paper piecing, because you don't need to, one, and it's going to show on the back. So that's important to know, that when you do this, like I, for the longest time, didn't even know what Quilt As You Go was. It's like, what is that? I don't like that. And I don't really care for the Quilt As You Go where you sash them together. I feel like sometimes the batting doesn't always match up, and then you have a weak spot in the middle, but that's just my opinion. So I'm going to line up my fabric, making sure that my edge is See, look, this is not straight. So I got to make sure that I have a straight edge. So we're going to trim that real quick. Oh my goodness, there's so many threads under my ironing board. I envy all of you people who have super clean sewing rooms because it's not me. And I told my husband this morning that he had to do a Facebook Live with me on the 21st. So you guys, it's going to be funny because he's like, what? He said, you want me to do what? So, grab my little cutter and I'm just going to make a straight, I'm just going to make a little straight cut here so that I can line it up straight. That works. There we go. Okay, so now when I flip that, we're going to have a straight edge on the other side, and that will be great. What is on this fabric? It's like the wax didn't all come off when they waxed it. That's wild. Wild. So what are you guys working on? Are you sewing tonight? Who says what? I should show you mine. Oh, mine's messy. My sewing room is messy, Sandy. It's so messy. So messy. And you can't see most of the piles. Most of them are over there and under there. I am a very messy cook. Oh my goodness. I am a very messy cook. I make a disaster of my kitchen. Disaster. Should definitely do that. Oh my goodness. For sure. Why are we not stitching? And then of course, so my very first live sewing that I did on a different platform, we were working on the jelly roll rug when Donna first started that, and my sewing machine, this little girl did not like the thickness of that at all. She did not want any part of it, and so I put her down, and I have a machine down here, and I pulled up another machine, and there was this one person on, and he's like, yeah, you don't hear that often. Here, let me just pull another machine out. I ended up having to go through like 3 machines before I found one that decided it wanted to play with the jelly roll. Those jelly rolls are no joke. So some machines just don't like it. We're going to sew our second one. We're going to backstitch just twice just to give it a little bit of reinforcement. Oh, I can't wait to see those, Aunt Sharita. Aunt Sharita's been helping us with a sample at the shop, so you guys can't wait to see her handiwork. It is pretty cool. Okay, so now we have our piece. We just sewed it here to this little, this is piece number 3. We're going to flip it over, and it covers our space. So we're going to, this one's a little unwieldy, but if you need room, you're always welcome to come into the shop and use our sewing tables, and those are just real handy. So see, you gotta be super careful. That's the only thing you really gotta watch, and it doesn't, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Even on these things, and you got to make sure your seams are this. And I love you perfectionist sewers. I love you. I love the people that can sew the Art East, all those things, and do such a beautiful job. Like, God bless all of you. I am not a perfectionist sewer. And if it fits kind of, it's good. It's good. So this one, I have my piece and I trimmed it over here just so I didn't have the bulk. It doesn't help with a small home. And kitchen appliances. I have a whole shelf just for kitchen appliances. So when I'm doing this, and if let's turn this down just so you could see my workspace for a minute. So the line for that is right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it back so that I can see where I need to cut it. And I'm going to kind of finger press it. And then I'm going to cut it. Now, this is your seam allowance, so it's okay if it's not perfectly even. So we're going to just cut it. And now my piece fits. So now piece 4 is over here, and this piece is not cut where it belongs, so we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to pull it back so it matches that line, and we're going to finger press it, and then we're going to trim with our scissors. And this is probably not the technical way to do it, but it's what works for me. So if you don't like it, that's okay. There's lots of ways to skin a cat. Or maybe there aren't. I don't know. But that's a saying I grew up with, so. Okay, so now we have piece 1, 2, and 3. So we can pick our next color. And I have a whole stack of light colors here somewhere. Here they are. Let's try this one. Isn't this one pretty? Oh, I really like these. I don't even know where I bought half these. Like, they've been sitting in this little bin just staring at me for a while. So when I saw these Quilt As You Go, and they're like, oh, use scraps. Well, I don't think Tula would look really great on this. Although I love Tula, and if I planned it right, it could. This one, I felt, played very well to batiks. So we've lined up our next piece, and this concept, you just keep going and going. Now the only difference, and I'll show you in the placemat in just a second, between the placemat and the table runner is a different technique. And the instructions explain it very well, so if you were trying this on your own and you didn't quite understand, I think you would be okay because it's not really a difficult concept. So we basically just keep going back and forth. I am using batiks. I'm using my scrap bin of batiks, and they're so beautiful. I have one bin of batik scraps. It is one of these cube boxes full of batiks. And honestly, I want to say that most of them I got from a lady who handed me a bag of scraps. I don't know if that was, I don't know who it was. It was one of the ladies from the shop. Met me in the back parking lot and handed me a garbage bag. It was either, was it Kathy? Did Kathy do that? I don't remember. I think it was Kathy. If she sees it, she'll tell me. Yeah, so I have this whole bin of batiks. Okay, so you just keep going like that all the way up the braid, and you'll notice if these are vertical, it is ocean-like. Oh, so this is the vertical lines on here. If you can see it, you have 3 little borders on that side and 3 little borders over there, and the center is the braid. So this is your pattern. So you just keep going up and up and up, and then at the end, when we get to this part, you're going to lay your fabric the whole way and stitch that down and then flip it, which is super cool. The only thing is I did have to measure, because this is really long. This is 39 by 16, so you really need a whole width of fabric for that. So I was really glad I found a couple of long strips. My border colors are going to be this green blue color, which is just yummy. And it's going to have this purpley marble on the side. And I think this is going to be the little border in between them. So it'll look something like this, which I think is is yummy. The only thing I was looking at was I had used that leaf in this one. I just didn't have enough of this bubble fabric. But the one technique that they did in here that I thought was super cool, and you're like, well, how in the world do you get a pocket in a quilt as you go? But what you do is you take your fabric that's going to flip over to here, and you first fold your pocket so your finished edge, right? And then you line it up first, and then you put your flipping piece, the piece you're flipping, the piece that's going to flip here. So then you would stitch all along this line on the batting, and then that flips over to create your pocket that is all finished because it's a double layer pocket inside now, which was really cool. You do have to make sure that it's long enough and that you don't throw your scissors on the floor, that it's long enough to cover that whole pocket, and then you can trim it, which is really kind of cool. So I really enjoyed this, and I didn't think I would. I really did. And I used all scraps. I didn't buy a single fabric for it. Look at me go. So you girls who are saying you need to use your stash, this was great. And there are 6 placemats in the kit, and we have some at the shop. And we can throw them on the floor. So there's 6 of those, and then the table runner on top of it, and you've got a whole gift, especially for those of you who are in the Christmas Club. The mystery sew-along is on the 10th, on Saturday, Jen. It is going, it's the setup is at 11, so if you're coming by, the setup is at 11, and then we are going to, if you did not buy a fabric bundle, you'll want to be there by 11, because we're going to tell you how to pick fabric. And if you have already got a bundle, we're going to tell you which fabric is which number. So that's important. That is at 11, I believe. And the first clue is at noon. And then the second clue, I think, is at 1. And it goes on 2, and then 3 is the final clue and assembly. And then we will be open late to allow for us to finish our projects. I was able to finish mine in less than 3 hours. The other night I timed myself so that I would know that. So I will be able to give you each clue's instructions once they're published on the Facebook page. I think it's good for beginners. The kit is just 6 fat quarters, and that's like, I think it comes out to like $24.30. I don't know, Aunt Shrita, if I can get you 6 fat quarters, but if you call me tomorrow, we can get you, I think you have a lot in your stash that you can use, and you can play along with us. I thought the pattern was fairly easy. There are some tips that I will share with you. And that's about all I can say on that, or I'll spill the beans on something I'm not supposed to. I know. I love the fabrics, and I made mine with, I made the sample that I had to make for them out of the Parlor bundle, so it is so pretty, you guys. If you pick that bundle, And then I think Saturday I'll be making the Tula pink one with you guys, and then I think that Lisa, who is going to be helping us in the sewing room, is going to be doing the, Lisa's going to be doing the Lori Holt version. Did you guys see that chicken quilt? If I didn't have the shop sample, I may have to make that quilt, but thankfully they sent me the shop sample so that I could quilt it and feel like I didn't need to make the quilt, because my sewing room does not need one more stitch of fabric. Which is why we're doing Quilt As You Go projects. The parlor bundle is the pink and blue and turquoise one. Did you get that one? I can't remember now because my brain doesn't, and that was only less than 24 hours ago. Oh, it's 24 hours ago. Crazy. I miss the ocean. I need to go see the ocean. I don't think I'm going to get to go there this year either, and I just cut that short, but we're going to make it work because we're going to make it work. So here's my braid so far. I've got 3 rows. That's exciting. I'm super excited about that. So we are working on our Quilt As You Go. We're just going to keep continuing along the way here. And then I should have started early, but I wanted to show how to get started, so that was important. So if you are just joining us, I did click that you're allowed to rewind, so you can go back and see the beginning of how to get started on this project. I know, autocorrect just needs to learn that sew is SEW. And even if it puts SEW where it should be SO, it's fine. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Where are my darkers? Ooh, this is a fun one. Let's use this one next. That's super fun. Oh, you did purchase. I thought you purchased the Lori Holt one. I love that one. I mean, I think that's going to turn out super cute too. I think you're going to like it. I was pleasantly surprised, it being my first mystery. I know I didn't do it the way you guys are, where you didn't see any of it, but I did do each clue on its own and then did the next step and the next step, and so it was good. They did a great job. You guys are going to love it. Look at this go. Oh, that's so pretty. Such a pretty color. I sometimes don't like when you do the quilt as you go and like the quilt doesn't lay flat, and like that really bothers me. So I used a bit of spray basting when I did this to get my batting in, because I didn't want to pin it, because ever since I got a long arm, I've been a little bit lazy about the whole wanting to pin things. Crawling around and pinning things on the floor. Why do that? Just load it on the long arm. I'm just going to load it on the long arm. My kids got me this really great foam thing. And to help my sewing puddle from sliding all over the slick floor on the bottom. And it's great. It really is great. It is not a perfect solution because I have these old slick floors down here. If you have in your hot little hands the Acorn Precision Piecing Starter Kit, I do recommend having that on hand. Of course, I use that for everything. So there you go. Love you too, Aunt Sharita. So if you guys have that, especially the fabric treatment pen, mine is getting old. I may have to buy myself a new one because the little nib that's in it I think I can buy replacements. I gotta look into that. Either way, I use that all the time because sometimes, you know, you just need those seams to fall flat and not spill the whole bottle of Best Press on the floor in the sewing room because you left the cap off because you were in a hurry trying to sew. I need a 360 table. That would be cool. Oh, this is so pretty. You guys, I wish that this is... I can buy replacement nibs? Yes. Look at how pretty. Ah, I love this fabric. Okay, I gotta cut this side though. I love it when you find something that looks nice that you can use your scraps, because most times I get so anxious that I'm not a scrappy person. And so I get very anxious, and because it's not going to match, or I'm not going to have enough to make it match, or it's going to look funny, or I don't know. I'm not really scrappy. Not a scrappy person. I love the replacement. That's awesome. Because it's my favorite. The glue I use occasionally. I use that fabric treatment all the time. I've already gone through like 2 bottles of replacement. So this project that we're working on doesn't really need it, which is nice. But we do have these at the shop, so if you would like one, give us a call, let us know, or drop me a DM. I think I have 10 sets. And so they are available. And the placemats, I think I have 7 or 8 left. And those are super cute. And you can rewind and see that, which I love that you can rewind the live and go back and say, hey, oh, I missed that. Because if you buy this and you want to bring it or like finish it, you're welcome to watch the video and see if you get stuck, which is super cool, because I can't tell you how many times I get home and I'm like, I need help. And now I can't do anything because I need help. And so see here, I'm folding this along this line here so that I can see, I can cut it. So we can finger press it along the line. I'm going to mess with it. And then I'm just sneaking my scissors in here some way or another. And then we're going to come back to this side and kind of sneak our scissors in there. And look at that. Oh! This is probably not the technical way to do it, but this is how we're doing it. And it worked. So, look at that. Ah! It's so pretty. Definitely need ocean vibes right now because the white gray outside can be quite depressing. And it's true. Everybody's like the number of phone calls that the shop's gotten in the last, even just the last 2 days. Are you really accepting Amazon returns? Yes, you can bring your Amazon return. So if you're coming in for an open sew and you need to do an Amazon return, you got a one-stop shop happening there, which is super cool. And we're super excited about that. Okay, this is going to be my next color. Isn't that fun? Like, it doesn't even look the right color on the screen. They never do. This is like a light ocean foam green, which is so cute. I happen to see, for any of you who are Tula Pink fans, that today she released a new collection, and I haven't had a chance to sit and watch her live video from this morning, but it's one of the collections I didn't get to see. I know, I love it. So, or like, I wasn't a Tula Pink fan when that collection came out, so I'm kind of excited. She's releasing Prince Charming Deja Vu this year, so who likes that? I love her stuff. Okay, now we've got it going. So we're going to hang out here a little bit. I'll probably wrap it up in about an hour. I'll finish the project, and if I get to a point that I think is tricky, I will create another video for you guys, and we can throw it up later. But I think this is a really great project. Once you get the hang of the first couple steps, you're really just sewing by number, and oh, super cute. Oh, I know. They've all been super grateful. Everybody that's come in has been super grateful. Next, y'all need to call UPS and say, hey, let them be a package drop off, and they'll come and pick up our packages, because that would be a nice service for town too. And convenient. So that is next on my offering list we're trying to look into. Super fun. I've been asking to do Amazon returns for, I think I started asking them almost a year ago. Maybe persistence paid off. It's like, okay, I'll just keep calling. Oh, you said no, let me call somebody else. So what do you guys have under your needle and your home today? What are you working on? I have 25 different projects that I'm working on, because that's me. I'm going to finish this one. Let's see. I have another Quilt As You Go, because I decided to try it, really try it. So my other Quilt As You Go is a Tula pink one. I do need to add on, Sandy, I've needed to add on to the building since I bought it. But we somehow managed to find room for all the things. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We will just get creative with our space. How is everybody's holidays? I hope you guys had a good holiday. I know, Sandy, you were sick like me. That was a rough time, but that's okay. I'm doing better now. I get to come back and sew in my sewing room, which is always great. I love that. Okay, so we got this guy done. Somebody's going to come and say, you're doing it wrong. Guess what? I don't care. I don't care. I probably do a lot of things wrong. I always feel that way. Like, I'm going to tell you guys, oh, yeah, do it this way. And somebody's going to say, oh, that's the wrong way to do it. Worked for me. Oh, look at this. That's so fun. Now what color are we going to do? This is the best part, is picking out the, oh, look at this one. Look at that one. Oh, wait, that's two different fabrics. Hold on. Because what? Look at this one. Oh, wait, I need a dark one. We got to go find the dark ones first. Those are the light pile. Where did the dark pile go? Oh, here. Let's try this one. This one's pretty. Isn't that pretty? Look at all the fun. I want to go to once upon a time on Andros Island in the Bahamas, there was a batik factory. I don't know if it's still there, but it's the closest one, because I think otherwise you have to go to like Bali or something. Hi, Emily. Aw, thank you. I don't know what just dinged at me, but she did something. Oh, I love this. Anyways, I would love to go to a batik factory and see how they're done, because I think it's such a cool fabric. Okay. I didn't backstitch at the beginning. Oops. Well, I will stitch over that one on the long side. There are 36 pieces in this Quilt As You Go, so you have a lot of opportunity for laying out some really fun colors. Oh, this is so pretty. I just need to go to the ocean, so that's why we made these colors. Of course, it also is because that's really all that's in my scrap bin, other than some purples, but there weren't enough purples to make it happen because my purples are set aside for another project. What is the biggest color in your scrap bins? Sandy, do you even have a scrap bin? You're like one of those disciplined people that does one project at a time. I don't understand, but I envy it. My sewing room clutter envies it. Okay, we're going to finish up this one, and then we're going to close it down for the night, and we will post a picture of the completed project. I'm going to go check on the children upstairs, or the child and the dog, which is basically children, right? This is just a repeat over, wash, rinse, repeat all the way through your table runner. And as you finish it up, you don't see. So, I mean, I obviously have Tula everywhere. I have 4 bins of Tula over there, 2 shelves over there, 2 shelves over there, Tula pink everywhere. 25 different projects because I love her fabric and it makes me excited to create things. And so then I go and create something. And then when I see how cool it looks, I'm like, okay, great. I did that. Let's go do this something cool. I love it. Well, I hope all of you have full bobbins and extra needles for your sewing machine so that you're not like me on the time that I didn't have any of those, and unlimited ideas, and feel brave enough to try them, because if you mess it up, it's okay. It's just fabric. It is just fabric. And this is how far we got. So it'll probably take a couple more hours to finish up this project, but you could definitely finish this in a day. I would say I could probably finish it up in the evening, but you guys don't want to watch me sew the same colors over and over again. So we have these in the shop. They are Quilt As You Go Venice table runners, and we have the 6-pack of placemats to match it. It's a super fun project. Of course. If you love it and you would like to have one and try it out, give us a call and we'll set one aside for you. The placemats are online. The table runners were not yet because I wanted to do this to share with you guys so that you had a chance to grab it. If you have any questions or you get stuck, always feel free to give us a call. I hope we inspired you to create something beautiful. Thank you so much for coming by. Have a great night, and we'll see you next week. I haven't decided what we're going to do, so if you have any ideas, feel free to give me a DM, and we'll make sure to try and put that in there. See you Saturday, guys. Bye.